Hello everyone, welcome back to FraudFi. My name is Austin Lee. I'm a fraud prevention expert, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the process flow of fraud and how you might be able to stop that fraud in each one of those instances. So first, we're going to talk about the flow. High level, 3 steps. 1 is access or obtaining the information. 2 is control. And 3 is monetization. So in the first step, when somebody accesses or obtains the information, this could come from a data breach. This could come from buying credit cards off the dark web. This could be creating a synthetic identity profile. And to prevent this type of fraud, it's super important for your organization to have and work with an intelligence team to stay up to date on those different trends and understand where you may be at risk. Let's say a partner has a cybersecurity incident. You may want to understand what data was lost and what you may be susceptible to later. This one is a more preventative measure. It's not so much stopping fraud, but understanding what controls or strategies need to be in place to stop further instances of fraud. The second piece is access. So access can look like a few different types of things depending on the type of fraud. First could be account takeover. So in an account takeover, somebody could have the username and password and they have access to the account now. The synthetic identity account could now have a credit card that they have now shipped to the address of the perpetrator. This could also be using a skimming device and now have tested the CVVs of the credit cards and the zip codes to understand which credit cards they can now max out. Now, this is important for alerts, graphical views, to really understand where there may be access controls being put in place or accessing your weak points within your organization. So for example, with synthetic identity fraud, you're going to have access points. In those access points, there are things that almost always have to happen. So for example, an address, a credit card almost always has to be sent to a particular address. Or logging into the account and applying for that application is probably going to be done through a particular device. So having that graphical representation in that view, you can see the suspicious actors and how they may be linked to previous fraud. In turn, you can shut those accounts down before the monetization happens. So that's really important. This is where you want to catch most of your fraud. And the last part, where a lot of organizations focus on, is the monetization. Now, monetization could look very different, but it basically means the same thing. The perpetrator has bust out or spent on the credit card, the checking account, whatever it may be, to basically drain the funds of that account. And you can use rules and strategies, which often organizations have, to limit certain thresholds or suspicious activity. But once it goes past this point, it's really hard for the organization to go backwards and stop the majority of that fraud. So looking at it from the high level view with accessing and obtaining the data, control, and then monetization, you want to have more of a focus on control because that helps you save on cost because you're not playing whack-a-mole and going from transaction to transaction. You're able to have that customer view. And not only are you able to have that customer view, you can also add additional controls in the monetization layer to know where to stop and prevent fraud. So you save cost, you save time, and you also have a higher level view of that fraud to stop further instances of fraud. So thank you so much for listening to my talk about the different steps within fraud and how you might prevent fraud in those different steps. Feel free to comment what you want to see next, and excited to share another video with you tomorrow.